Hello, Master Ball coaches and others who may be watching. Let me pull up my power rankings. Where did they go? All right, here are our power rankings. You 12 coaches have spread from S to C. I tried to make it pretty equal in each tier. Um, the first time I did this, I had like 6 B tiers, and I realized that was too much. So let's go through this. A human being. I placed you in C tier. I think it's one of the weaker teams of the division. The biggest problem for me is speed. Your fastest Pokemon is Ogerpon Cornerstone. Pretty slow. Uh, your Scarfers are okay. I mean, Tusk, you can Scarf and boost your speed. Patch is an okay Scarfer. Jirachi's pretty solid. Volcanion's okay. And like even I guess Rillaboom maybe. You have decent priority though in Rillaboom and Triage Comfey. So that helps out a little bit. But yeah, I think you're just gonna be forced to bring Scarf on some Pokemon you don't really want to. Um, because of the speed problem on the team. I mean, you have to bring a Scarfer to outspeed, like a Tornadus, not Tornadus, that didn't get drafted, like Thunderous Incarnate, you know? Did that guy get drafted? I don't think so. No, only Thera did. Anyways, my point is, it's slow. Um, I think, like, the Mon quality is just also not great. You have a great Tusk, incredible, but then there's a lot of, like, mid-range Pokemon. I think I would like to see another big threat. Tusk, I don't think is quite as oh shit of a mon, like you're scared to face it in prep as like maybe Meowscarada plus Terrachiu or Iron Valiant plus Slowking Backs and Terra Hoopa. I'm being biased, these next two teams are very solid. I think I have them both in S. Yeah. Um, but I'm just like I'm not scared of this team. I feel like it's very manageable. You have quite a good physical offense between Great Tusk, Rillaboom, and Ogerpon. Special offense, definitely weaker. Terra Comfey is really relying on Volcanion to be the special breaker, and Volcanion's not a mon you're bringing to every match. So I think could struggle a little bit, although I think Rillaboom Comfey is actually a fantastic combo. Getting a boost to your Giga Drains, Grassy Seed Comfey is absolutely incredible. Um, and there was something else. Oh, weakening the steel types and the poison types that Comfey doesn't like. Rillaboom's really good at that. Am I talking loud enough? I think I am. Maybe I'll turn down the music a little bit. I don't know. Okay, so that's why I said C tier. Generally just slow and not that imposing of a team. I think it's pretty easy to prep for your offense, and your defense isn't absurd to where like I need to be scared of it. Next up, Yubby, a team where both the offense and defense are better. Uh, Meowscarada, an elite knockoffer. Uh, Hazard game on this team, I think, is the biggest thing keeping it back. I would have liked to see another spiker besides Meow. Tinkaton's fantastic rocker. You also have them on Necrozma if you want, but really you can bring Tinkaton with Stealth Rocks every single week. I think Dragonite is kind of a sleeper pick. This guy can kind of do it all. Very strong priority. Dragon Tail alongside spikes, or even just rocks is nice. Setup, I think lead sets are also incredible. Meow Mola is an iconic pivot spam team. The grass types love coming in on Mola. Meow gets Protean boosted U-turns on them as you flip turn and you turn around. And also Mola plus Chi-Yu. I know that these two really love having one big breaker on the team, and that's what Terra Chi-Yu is here to do, is to get these grass types and frailer mons coming in on Mola. Try and take advantage of it, go into your Chi-Yu, Terra Fire, Overheat, and just claim kills. Guacavol's here. It's our removal. I don't love that the only removal here is Quaquaval, but this is kind of just a boot spam team. Mola can take some knockoffs, but I think this team could be a little bit prone to spike stack with just subpar removal. in just Quaquaval. I think Quaquaval's a great Pokemon. I don't think it's a good spinner. I think it excels much more at just bringing choice items every week and spamming Aqua Step. Uh, and then in matchups where you're facing bulkier teams, I think you can get away with some Swords Dance stuff as well. Rotom's a really nice spin blocker. Another reason why I would have liked to see another Spiker is that Rotom matches up very well into a lot of the hazard removal in the tier. Being immune to ground and rapid spin is quite nice when the best spinners are Great Tusk and Iron Treads. Also matches up fairly well into Terrapagos. So that's why I got Yubby as the second best team. It was between Yubby or Club for the best team there. Next up, Club Shay Sharp, using a very similar team to last season, if I recall. Although this time it's a lot stronger. Mostly because of high tier Terra, giving you that Terra Hoopa Unbound plus Valiant combo, very popular. Stacking those mixed attackers, very hard to prepare for. Slowking backs, really nice pairing here. Slowking is going to help with a lot of utility, like Thunder Wave, Corviknight as well, keeping the hazards off and setting screens, U-turning, but also just really helping against those ground types, which put in quite a lot of work to the rest of the team. Backs plus Hoopa form a pretty nice physical core, and then same thing, Iron Valiant. Hoopa, more special leaning, but certainly can run special as well, or physical as well on the Val. Terra Serpa is the secondary Terra Captain here, really nice. I'm generally not a huge fan of the two mid-tier Terras, but I think Club chose two very good ones. I think some teams, like Crash Bambooms here, can get a little carried away on the mid-tier Terra options, but I think Club chose two very good ones here. And then there's Carkol, which probably won't show up, but who knows. Quag just here to fill out some typings, but I think that is a good idea, helping you get a water immunity, because right now your water resists are SERP, which you're not bringing to every game, and backs, which you might be, but doesn't love taking hits repeatedly, especially if hazards are up. And then a Lucky giving you a speed tier above Val is really nice. I find Val is a little slow to be your fastest Pokemon, I think, so having something nicer. I know in low tier Terra Jolteon is pretty popular alongside it, but getting Regieleki here is nice. Also gives you a fast screen setter, which you were lacking, and a fast pivot as well, which lacking a little bit as well. Very solid team. I think Club is going to do quite well here. On to Crash's team. I have this at the weakest team in the league. It definitely has very potent offense and can put in a lot of work. Wake plus Gouging Sun in Sun, or Gouging Fire in Sun is very potent. Can definitely take some games away with them. I just think there were some odd choices, especially in regards to the Terra Captains. I think Terra Wake, I don't think we can quite afford Terra Wake and Sinistcha. Actually, there's no way. But Terra Wake, I think, would improve this team a lot. I don't really see why Porygon's on here. It's a special breaker alongside Wake, but there's not a lot of Pokemon Wake can't break. I think also Terra on Ninetales is just, I don't think it cost you any more points, right? Ninetales was already 11 points. Yeah. But I think probably some other options could have been taken here. I like Gouging Fire a lot. Treads, I don't know if it fits that well on a Sun team. You're just making yourself weaker to fire, but you need removal on a Sun team, so it's nice that you at least have a good spitter. I don't know if Hatterene's on the board. Is it? I thought it was. Let's see. Hatterene is on the board. I wonder if that would be a better pick than Screamtail. Obviously, Screamtail and Sun, you get the booster, but I think keeping off these hazards is really important. But maybe Treads can do that by itself, because you don't want to be bringing boots on your Gouging Fire. Just a team lacking some typings. I mean, your ground resists or Sinistcha, which is solid, very good, and then Flamigo, which is not at all. And then a lot of, like, your Screamtail is your ground resist a lot of the weeks, unfortunately. I think this team has the offensive capabilities of winning a game. It's going to be hard to prep for like setup Screamtail, but also Gouging Fire and Walking Wake. And then Porygon Z, like some teams might just be very weak to Scarf Terra Normal move. I think it has the offensive capabilities of winning games, but definitely going to be up to the coach to find what works every week. Next up, Codex. I had Codex in B tier. Using Palafin again, I believe he used it last season and used it fairly well. I think he was like actually one of the top coaches. Couldn't get the best of me though. I'm kidding. Yeah, Palafin, really solid. I'm facing it in finals in another league and I'm terrified of it. I think it's a very solid pick. I think it's really good on pivot heavy teams, which this team totally is not. I mean, we have Flip Turn Lottie, Baton Pass Sylveon, Volt Switch Fortress, and Pivot Thundy. There's actually some decent options there. I think the Mon quality on this team is quite good. I mean, their top three is very solid. Then Terra Thunderous is also good. I'm not a huge believer in Skeledirge or Terra Sylveon. Non-Terra Okidoki's fine. Gives you another good Scarfer alongside Latios and Thunderous Therian. And it's your really only other physically offensive Pokemon besides Palafin. I think Palafin's going to struggle a little bit to break down physical walls. Nothing on this team really threatens bulky waters except for the Thundurus. But Thundurus is fairly easy to switch into. But you have Terra on it, so that should help out quite a bit. Terra Blast Fly will help weaken the steel types for Latios, which is quite nice. Same thing with Sylveon. So I have it on B. Like, the Mons are good. You have Dirge for decent spin blocking. Matches up pretty poorly into the Elephants, but pretty solid into other spinners. There's some bad ones like Blastoise and Quaquaval, but fairly solid. Next up I have Jam. I think this was one of the A tier teams I had. Torrentee Chomp is just an absolutely incredible top 2. I think the plot kind of got lost as we went. Enam, I think, is only really good on very offensive teams, and this team leaned pretty bulky. We have a lot of mid-tier options like Serena, Umbreon, Hariyama, and Rotom Frost. I think we could have combined some of these into 1 or 2 good mons instead of 3 or 4 poorer quality ones. I don't mind the Umbreon here. It's going to help keep the Heatran healthy. Heatran, hitting the ground moves, has a pretty solid ground resistant Tornadus. But the thing is, once this Tornterras, Earthquake is fairly free into the team. I mean, Serena takes them okay, and Eno's obviously immune, but doesn't love switching into attacks. I think it's a solid team. Torrentee is very, very good. Then you get a regen core with the Slowking. Nothing to take advantage of the chilly reception, really, but that's fine. Your removal is just Serena. Not the most solid, especially when your Pokemon really don't like spikes. Spikes are very, very good into this team. Also would have liked to see another spiker on this team. Garchomp is really all you have, which is a good spiker. But it's going to limit how much you can bring offensive sets if that's what actually looks better in the matchup. Next up is Jermoy. I have Jermoy at the best team in the league. Terrapagos Darkrai really solid. One of the more common ways to beat Terrapagos is to bring Terra Ghost on something, but you don't really want to bring Terra Ghost into a Darkrai. You have really, really good hazards on this team. You have 3 spikers in Ogerpon, Wellspring, Mew, and Gliscor. Also have rocks on the Terrapagos, then Mew and Gliscor again. I really like seeing Gliscor on this team, mostly because the other hazard setters you have don't love bringing hazards. It's not very comfortable to fit spikes on your Wellspring or rocks on your Terrapagos. And your Terra Mew is generally going to want to either be setup sets, or maybe like bulky AV sets to help check with an opposing Pokemon. So having Gliscor to comfortably bring hazards every game is quite nice. Also gives you more knockoff alongside Mew, Ogerpon, and Darkrai. Miss Mag as the spin blocker is okay. Definitely weeks that you can bring it to Hazard Stack. And the Terra Pheasantipity, I think it's just here to fill out some typings. Terra, I don't think will be used a whole lot on it, but who knows? Really solid team. Uh, can lead bulky offense a lot of the weeks, I think. Doesn't have a ton of staying power. Kind of relying on Pheasantipity, Gliscor for that, and maybe some kind of bulky Wellspring. I think Magnezone's an interesting pick here. I can trap Steel types for Terapagos. Beyond that, I don't really see the vision. But I think it should be interesting. So that is Jermoy, top tier team. That is all of the S tier teams gone. Next up, Collateral. We have 3 fighting types. Why do we have 3 fighting types? I don't know. I ranked Collateral as B tier, on the lower end of B tier, but it could really be quite similar to these other B tier teams. The triple fighting type is odd to me. At least we have good fairy resists. That's the first thing I noticed when I saw this team. Okay, we have 3 fighting types. Surely we're fairy weak. Surely we're flying weak. Flying types are still a little iffy. We have Rotom Heat and Terra Shock, so 2 electric types that helps. But then Scizor, Rotom, Claude are quite solid fairy checks, which is nice to see. The speed's a struggle. We're really relying on Rabambi. We have nothing over 110 besides it. Our webs are nice as well. Then Bramblegas is an okay spin blocker. Very loose word of the word okay, or loose use of the word okay. Terracomo is interesting. I've never seen it used well. In theory, it feels like it should be good, but I've not seen it pop off before. Terra Shocks I have used to pretty good success. I think it's a solid Pokemon. A lot of hazards in this team. I mean, we have 3 Spikers, we have Webs. Rocks is just on Claude and Sandy Shocks, and Como actually. I don't want to really be bringing Rocks on Como, I don't think. Unless you're kind of bringing some defensive, bulletproof Terra set to check some kind of Pokemon. Which is a possibility for sure. At first when I looked at this team, I thought it was a C tier team. I thought it was not good. But I feel like we have tools to win games. I really don't see why Urshifu's on this team. That's the thing I don't understand the most. Why is this here? I feel like we're good without this thing. I mean, it's not really filling out anything besides a dark type, which, I mean, there's better dark types on the board. Crook and Swampert went undrafted. Not Swampert, that's a ground type. But Crook's there. I mean, this team with a Terrazarud. What are we doing with these two? Get rid of Como, slap a Terrazarud on here. Terra Gambit, something, you know? Or at least tear this Urshifu single strike. Because I just don't see what it's doing here. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. It is really nice on webs, so maybe it can put in some work. That's Collateral's team. On to the last 4. Here's Nazir. Nazir picked up Sneasler Gold, the most obvious grassy terrain team of all time. It would have been incredible. And then Rillaboom got drafted. So we pivoted. We have an Indeedee male now, which is much less of a mod than Rillaboom, but that's what we got. I don't think Sneasler needs terrain. It'll still be good. I mean, when I used it alongside Rillaboom, I brought Grassy Seed maybe a third of the time. Scarf and Band Sneasler are absolutely incredible. I mean, 120 speed, 130 attack with 120 base power moves with minimal drawback. I mean, close combat's pretty free and Gong Shot misses, but Solid Mon and Dire Claw's fine too. Although I think it's a little overrated. One day, I want to see someone bring Pressure, Toxic Protect Sneasler. Could be funny. Anyways, Double Dragon. Pretty solid. Definitely fairy types are scary, but we have Golden Go and Moltres as very solid fairy checks, so that is nice. Ice resists, a little more reliant on just the Golden Go. We have removal in Donphan, which is fine. Very excited to see the Terra Lapras put in work. This year was in Godly Gift last season, and I think got like 15 to 20 kills with Lapras, which is pretty funny. Rotom Wash, just a role filler, gives you screens. I think Indeedee is going to be pretty nice alongside Kyurem Hydreigon. It's going to break down steel types pretty well, clicking Expanding Force, and it lures in dark types, and you can maybe hit them with a Dazzling Gleam to weaken the dark types for Hydreigon's Dark Pulses. And Goldigo Shadow Balls. Terra Gold I've not really seen used a whole lot, but I think it has a lot of potential. Very excited to see it used. I think that's everything. Nazir, solid team. What's holding it back? We're very reliant on Sneasler for our speed. We go from Sneasler at 120 down to Hydreigon at 98. It feels kind of bad. So if we're facing something like a Cinderace, which did Cinderace even get drafted? I feel like it didn't. Oops, that's Pokemon stats. Cinderace did not get drafted, which is crazy. That was incredible. I guess Cinderace is a bad example then. But yeah, it's just a really big gap in speed tiers at a really common speed threshold. But Nazir will make do, I'm sure. Next up, Rufasi. I had Rufasi at lower A tier. We got the Moon Trio, Roaring Moon, Ursaluna Blood Moon, and Clefable Moon. And then Annihilate, which maybe is a moon? Or moon adjacent? I don't know. Terra Ape's cool. Wish we had better hazards with it. I think the best thing about Annihilate is spin blocking. I think it's maybe the best spin blocker in draft, because you either block the spin, get the Defiant boost from Defog, or boost your Rage Fist when they predict you switching in. So it's kind of a win-win-win. Talonflame Blastoise, pretty solid removal. I think it's an interesting team. We have like two really good special attackers in Blood Moon Moth. Although non-Terra Moth can struggle a little bit more. And then Moon Ape as our big physical attackers. Clef as utility, removal, and then some guys on the bottom. Who knows if they'll really show up. The ground resists are a little tough. I mean, Talonflame, and you can just bring a rock move for, and then Earthworm. And then otherwise, we're kind of struggling to deal with ground types. Although Ursaluna Blood Moon can take an Earthquake for sure. Terrible Blossom can be funny for sure. I want to say how much was Terra Blastoise? 13, yeah, too much. I was wondering if you could afford Terra Ape and Blastoise, but no, it doesn't look like it. I think it's a solid team. Kricketune is our Weber. I wonder if it's even a better Sticky Weber. Oh, this team might have been nice. Maybe could have done Terra Vikavolt instead of Earthworm. Still filling that ground immunity, but getting webs. Also getting you an electric type, which you don't have right now, which electric's not a necessary typing in draft at all, but something to think about. That's Rufasi's team. Pretty solid. Yeah. Next up, Zane. Zane I had at B tier. The second Sun team, unfortunately, we have a far worse Sunsetter. I think Ninetales is just leagues better than Torkoal in terms of supporting a Sun team, because Sun teams are inherently offensive, and Ninetales just fits in with offense a lot better than Torkoal. With that being said, Mimikyu Torkoal. Now, I'm no VGC player, but Trick Room Torkoal, kind of cool. Lando, incredible. Dio, incredible. Two of the Pokemon I've brought to the most draft games. I drafted both 3 times, and they've come to pretty much every game, every season. Terra Bolt and Sun basically has 4 stabs. I mean, you bring Terra Fairy on this thing, you have Electric Dragon Stab, and you have Sun Boosted Weather Pulse. Incredibly hard to wall. I mean, tell me something that does wall it. I can't think of it. Maybe Blissey, I don't know, probably not. Terra Dragon in the Sun probably blows up Blissey with specs. You know what? We have a science. Let's figure that out. Alright, by blows up, I mean does 56 to 66%. Which, you know what? For a Blissey, that ain't bad. Then if we have like Dragon Pulse, I mean, you know, if we have some hazards up, maybe we're 2 KO into Blissey. I don't know. But anyways, Raging Bolt, so hard to wall in Sun. And then we have Venusaur as well. The speed on this team, I mean, we're very reliant on Deoxys. We're actually incredibly reliant on Deoxys. Wow, I didn't really take that into notice. Cobalion is our next fastest Pokemon. We do have Sun Venusaur, which helps. Um, but man, if there was a Walking Wake on this team, I know it was taken by Crash, but something else fast on this team, I think would like a Cinderace. I think Cinderace on this team would have helped out a lot. Helps with hazards, which some teams infamously struggle with. Um, yeah, maybe Cinderace on this team would be nice. You would probably have to get rid of Cobalion and Venusaur, which is too bad, but I don't know. That's Zane's team. And last up we have Z-Dog. I'm saying Z-Dog because I'm Canadian and we say Zed. Terragran's cool. Rest of the team is like, I don't know, man. I think Lando Eye is like kind of mid. It is nice that we have a really good rocker in Glamora. Don't want to be stuck bringing Stealth Rocks on Lando Eye. It's just going to end up being a worse Lando T. Something tells me, actually no, Z-Dog would have taken, I think this is draft order, yeah. Would have taken Lando Eye before Lando T. I totally would have taken Lando T with Gren, that's incredible. Anyways, really good special breaker though to help up Gren. Glamora gives you hazards, gives you removal, gives you another good Scarfer. Non-Terra Ledge, I don't know if I believe in it. Ogerpon, another Spiker, helps out Glamora. Cycles are more removal. Ninetales got thrown on here. There's 2 new typings. I guess we have screens now. It's like this team doesn't have a ton of setup. You know, you bring SD Gran. I don't know if screens were the thing we needed here. Yeah, I have to beat your team. I think it's fine. I think I'd probably put it below Collateral's team actually. I think I'm a little more scared of Collateral's team, although Terra Gran is a bit of a menace. And Terra Bellybolt is a very solid lower tier pick. And then we have Registeel as our steal, which, you know what, for a budget steal, Registeel is pretty good. That's it, Toxie. And that is the final PRs for this season. Overall, solid teams. Not as many high tier Terra choices as I would have thought. Quite a few coaches opted for some mid-range Terras. I mean, like even Goal and Annihilate aren't really top tier Terras, but then there's definitely some other ones like Shox, Komo, Sylveon, Thundy T, and especially Crash's team, and a Human Beings team. And maybe I'm biased, I think some of the teams I named there are some of the teams I ranked a bit lower. I'm biased to high tier Terra, but anyone down here prove me wrong, and everyone up here, you have a lot to live up to, so don't screw up. I'm kidding. Have fun. That's the whole point. Schedule's out if you haven't seen it. Here's week 1. Don't start your games early. Doesn't start till May 4th. Hopefully you have enjoyed this hashtag Jamarcus episode of PRs. Hopefully I haven't upset you too much. And if I have, I'll help you change your team if you want to. Or prove me wrong. Please do. Happy drafting. Just kidding, we've already done that. Happy playing. Bye.